funky bass groove. Pop it. Poppin'.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 9 of Conversations in Pencil, the Rough Draft. Because every life is a work in progress worth sharing. Welcome to this episode. Hello, Taylor.
Hello.
Today we're talking about daily habits without burnout. This sweet spot in between consistency and collapse. And we're going to be discussing some ways that you can practically build your habits without burning yourself out. How do you fare on this wonderfully hot summer day in Australia, Taylor?
Well, I took a visit to the vampires this morning. They were not nice. They hurt me. So I did that. And now I don't want to do a damn thing. But here we are. Here we are.
For those of you looking to visit your own vampires, get blood drawn, diagnose certain things in your life, just know afterwards you may be tired, you may long for cookies or orange juice, and you may just want to lay around at home and do nothing for the afternoon. But here we have Taylor striving ahead, forging herself in fortifying herself, forging this agreement by turning up for you all again today. Thank you, Taylor. We are here to discuss this subject. Discuss. There are quiet conversations that you have into your cuff microphone when you're in secret missions, 007 style. So this sweet spot in between consistently keeping up a habit or falling apart and collapsing. How to build daily habits without burning yourself out. Have you ever experienced this this burnout, Taylor, in your life?
On many occasions. A
Mm.
lot of times I don't want to do anything.
And what's it feel like, this not wanting to do anything? Because today you don't feel like you want to do anything. Is that a burnout, you would say?
No, I don't necessarily think it's a burnout, but it's no will to want to move.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of factors that are contributing to this at the moment, so... Yeah. What about you, Nathan?
So,
what's burnout for you?
Burnout seems to be, in my mind, that collapse. That time when I just go... I feel like I'm a very all or nothing person. And it's the nothing. Where it's just like, it's too much, it's too hard, can't keep going. Throw my hands up, but it's usually without a decision. It's usually just like, that's it, I have to go to bed and do nothing for I don't know how long, until I feel like that has passed. And that is sort of how I would describe my collapses or burnouts. Even though there would be, I guess, a scale of burnout. That's sort of the first signal for me. I've gone too far for too long. Yeah.
I'd say mine's more a lack of motivation.
Lack of motivation. I can understand this. So...
Crawling into the fetal position and not wanting to move.
Right. Almost like a need for comfort. A need for...
What's that?
What's comfort? It's when you're just a baby and you just need someone to wrap you up and make you feel like it's okay. So, as adults on this path, trying to reparent ourselves because now we're in charge of our lives horrifically, which we didn't realize as teenagers when we wanted to run our own lives. This is running your own life. This burnout that everyone talks about.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Don't become an adult.
Star Wars reference there.
Star Wars reference there. So, when you think of the definition of burnout, I guess we can all look at it as this emotional and physical. Here we go. We're back
I
online.
don't even know what happened.
That's okay. It just hung up on us randomly. This definition of burnout, this emotional and physical exhaustion that happens when you're giving more energy out than you're restoring over a period of time. Not just overworking or under-resting, or it is quite literally a reserve of energy that you need to function. And when you overgive and under-rebuild, you get to a point where you're burnt out because you've got nothing left to give. So it's interesting when we look at it, because you before said a lack of motivation, where technically the definition of burnout is a capacity situation. This is a capacity which I can run at, which is my lowest form of energy before I collapse. And unless I don't feed that in. So really, when you look at it, it's like, if I feed as much energy into me as possible, my capacity grows for being able to give out of that energy. So the motivation that interestingly is connected to this little emotional spark, or the desire to actually spend energy or take action or act on behalf of whatever you decided to do, this is always going to go up and down. It's going to be affected by what your mood is, how you feel, where you are in your feminine or masculine cycle, what type of engagement you have, engagement that comes from the reward that you get from it, what the dopamine hit that you get from it, the past experiences you've had that you've set in yourself, where we often hear about this, where someone says, look, have a delayed gratification. Gratification is the reward. You get some sort of release, you get some sort of excitement, you get some sort of feeling of achievement. It's a chemical release in the brain. Which
is something that you're practicing as of late.
Yes. To delay the gratification of I can have this now, or I will sacrifice the future for something now. And what this looks like is, it's going to feel good to scroll on my phone or just play video games and get those little dopamine hits that get released in my brain and make me feel good, but are not actually refilling my energy. For 5 minutes, yeah, because they will pass. And those chemicals will dissipate. And I want the long-lasting ability to continue to increase my capacity. So putting in enough so that I'm not giving out too much and burning out. And finding the balance in my motivation.
And so,
because I don't think it's...
How have you done that, though? So what have you changed in your day-to-day to achieve this?
So I simply started by understanding how these systems work, because that's how I best operate for myself. I need to understand the why. And it helps keep it in my mind. It helps me know what pattern I should put in place for myself in the end. it's almost as simple as everything that we tend to do, which is kind of map what's going on. So here's an interesting thing. If you just thought of it as, today I'm going to record a voice note at this time, in the evening, in the morning, doesn't matter whatever time you choose, and I'm going to answer 2 or 3 questions. How I feel in my body, how I feel emotionally, maybe how I slept or what I ate. All of these things are going to affect you in your life. It's almost like, what's everything in my life and how does it affect me and how do I feel and what are the changes between day to day? Because at some point we want to try and map out, these are all the things I'm doing, this is how I feel. If I'm feeling no goodness in my life, then everything I'm doing needs to kind of be addressed at some point. And starting with some simple things that are within your power, within your means. Can I clean up that little bit of thing in front of me today? Can I try and go to bed early and set an alarm to do that? If you're not a person who works well with alarms, how can you implement a system so that you can follow without too much struggle? And by that I mean that you can maintain to feel better the next day. And it might take a little bit for the good parts of that to come to the surface, really. You know how you'll go out and stay up all night in your 20s and you'll bounce back pretty quick. The bounce back time is pretty quick. In your 30s, it might take a couple of extra days of rest before you start feeling okay again. And the cost of doing that, staying up all night, takes a little longer to recharge. So everyone's different. And that's what I started to look at with myself. What is it that I am doing or I am putting in or I am giving out? Interesting concept for our listeners. Maybe there's something you're giving out that's too much. Maybe you can curb that as a start. And go, I'm going to remove that and put that energy into refilling myself somehow. So I started sort of with routines. I started with someone else's routine, incidentally, because they were doing well. I watched them get up with the energy. I watched them move and feel quite bright, and I was like, I want some of that.
He's not talking about me, guys. Just want to I am not.
It was another friend at the time. Right. It was another friend.
Routine setter. That ain't me.
Sometimes we're not somebody who does well with routines. We get in these cycles of guilt. I'm not looking after myself. I don't deserve being looked after. It's really interesting, this terrible, unhealthy loop that we can get stuck in. I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. That's what I mean by perhaps there's something you need to take away. What energy drain can you look at in your life that you could take away? Is there something for you, Taylor, that you're like, oh my goodness, you know what? This truly drains my energy. I need to change this.
Well, mine was Fortnite, which I've dwindled off of now. I'm happy to play about 5 games and then get off because I've just had enough. And then instead of sitting there being mad about the game, then I could be productively doing something that I might enjoy. But that's a whole thing too, because then finding something that you enjoy is hard when you've got a dopamine addiction. So starting small, things have changed over the last couple of weeks. I sort of got back into anime, which I'm really grateful for because I really enjoy watching it, and that's something that's helping me at the moment. So I kind of get off the game now, go and relax and watch some anime. Yeah, I still doom scroll for a little while, but eventually I get off of it and I watch some anime before I go to bed. So that's something that I've implemented lately, where I don't enjoy playing, and I feel like it uses more energy than what I have. So yeah, that's something that I've changed recently to help with the burnout kind of feeling. Doesn't mean that I don't still feel guilty or like I should be doing more, but small steps, I guess.
I really like this, that it's something that you've removed. You've identified as something that does not make you feel like it used to do. This is the thing everyone talks about when they're like, that no longer serves you. It doesn't feel good for me. I want to change that. And it's interesting because you listed that, but I actually have a list of things that I've seen you do recently directly towards feeling better. And that has been, interestingly, a bit tiring. Because today you're tired too. Yeah. And this is as a result of, partly because of that too. In this in-between zone, it seems to be normal that we get a bit of resistance or loss of motivation during that time also, which seems to be quite normal. So this...
I don't know how you navigate yourself out of it, though. I feel like it's a choice that you have to make. And sometimes people don't want the onus on themselves to make that decision. So it takes a long time to sort of get to the point where you're like, oh, something needs to change.
So there is... I cannot for the life of me recall what this is called. It's a phenomenon that they have actually studied, where things need to reach a certain level of uncomfortable for a person to finally make a change and benefit their life. It's quite fascinating, and it's almost a specific number that they can identify, like, it's not actually that uncomfortable for the person yet. So interestingly, we do stay in...
I did a course on this. I remember we talked about it, about that boy that was staying in his room because he was comfortable in his room. Yes, makes sense. Mr. Miyagi. Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi. So there's a contrast then with what we've been discussing with this motivation, this thing that gets you started. Interestingly, there seems to be a number of facets to motivation.
Health.
This idea that I don't want to suffer, I want to feel better. Yeah. I want to remove this thing that makes me not feel good. I want to add this thing that does make me feel good. I want to try something else. I want to feel powerful. Like, motivation is incredibly personal and nuanced. And then capacity is basically how far you can go without causing sort of failure. Damage, really. Damage is the point, because it's not always failure. That's a terrible thing, but damage that you have to then heal from, which is problematic. You know, you'll end up collapsing for 4 days.
Or a week. Or a month.
Or a week or a month or a couple of years, as we know, when the nervous system can get stuck. So this is a fascinating concept called energy budgeting. And I love it because it's such a practical understanding of motivation and capacity and change in one's life. To be in this messy middle, to start again, to have to pick things up, to take this accountability and responsibility and start to change things and test things in your life.
Can I just ask what you would do about the guilty feeling?
Okay.
I know this is a bit off of what you were just talking about, but I just I feel like it's something important that should be
Yes.
addressed.
Yeah.
Because guilt will eat away at you.
Hmm.
Like the female praying mantis biting off the male's head.
A very vivid, vivid demonstration of what it feels like to experience the guilt
least
eating
he's
at you.
Free of responsibility and free of guilt, but
That got dark.
sorry, not sorry.
Guilt. Okay. Yep. So just gathering my thoughts. So you're asking about what is one to do with guilt. Firstly, I would investigate exactly what guilt is and what its purpose is, and make sure you are identifying what you believe to be guilt in your body is actually guilt. And because a lot of the time we feel guilty for things because we're stuck in this loop where we're failing to meet a standard. And it's not always set by us. It's set by patterns or people in our world or early caregivers, early childhood caregivers that create this cycle where we feel like we have to earn love and acceptability by providing a certain amount of energy. And you can get stuck in a cycle where you've experienced an environment where someone does this, they live this way themselves, and just follow that pattern. So you truly need to look at exactly where the source is coming from and correctly identify it. Because it's problematic if guilt is causing you to freeze, if guilt is causing you to compromise your boundaries, if guilt is causing you to push beyond your limits and collapse. And then you burn out again, and then you get a second dose of guilt for not being able to keep up. So this idea where it's like, we have this in Australia a lot, actually. I need to work really hard and only then can I rest. Does this resonate with you?
Yeah, but it's funny, as you were talking, I literally had the thought in my brain that it's not real.
Isn't this interesting?
The guilt is not real.
So here's what I recommend to everybody, and you may need help in doing this. If something
Father.
is affecting you, yes, what did you say? Yes.
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father. If something is affecting you intensely and it's very uncomfortable, especially the guilt, don't shy away from it. Face it.
Because it's not real. It's an expectation.
It's interesting to dissect. It's an expectation.
An expectation that we've put upon ourselves. And then we've created this pattern around it to think that everyone wants you to reach this goal or this thing. But we're alive. We're still here. So therefore the guilt is not real. It's a manifestation of expectations that don't actually... The limit does not exist. It doesn't exist.
So, here's the interesting thing. This is why I encourage people to turn towards it, to go, what is the source of this guilt? Is it someone else's expectation? Is it a valid expectation? That's an interesting thought. To define something as valid. Because it's not as simple to say, look, is this something you want to do? Most of the time as an adult, we have a bunch of stuff that we need to do that we don't want to do, but it is our responsibility. So I'm not entirely... There's no blanket system to be able to just simply apply. This is why you have to really look at this internally. Find the source, find out exactly what guilt is, and start to combat this idea when it's from other people's expectation or you having to earn some sort of respect or love or acceptability from other people. You must perform this way and then we'll love you. You must do this and then you'll be acceptable. You know, there are times when that is not calibrated healthy in relationships and it gets put on us and we carry this guilt. And the way to combat feeling that guilt and carrying around this load that someone has offered to you, here is all this guilt I'm giving to you. Please pick it up and carry it around forever so that you can use it as motivation to do all the things I expect you to do.
Yeah, which is usually a reflection of them.
And we cannot accept that. We can say, no, thank you. This is not how I want to live. This is not healthy for me. I do not wish to carry on this guilt. I do not wish to do things the way you did them. And part of how to fix carrying on this pattern within ourselves is to start truly being compassionate and accepting ourselves. Because someone cannot override you and say you're not acceptable if you truly accept yourself. If you have this compassion and you don't force, punish, manipulate, push, and you go, no, I carry my load. I love my life. I built my life. And it's okay if you haven't, and if you don't, this is what you can do. You can put down someone else's guilt that they're asking you to carry. This expectation that someone's asking of you. And you can build a life that is truly healthy and productive for you. And isn't spending a bunch of energy combating someone else's punishment, saying you're not worthy, you're not enough. Time to start really looking in the mirror and saying you are lovable. And say it now. If you repeat it along in your head right now, take a minute as I say it. You'll notice the buts. Imagine standing there in front of a mirror right now. If you've got a phone, pull out your phone, open the camera, look at your own eyes. Look yourself right in the eye. And say, I love you. You deserve to be loved. I accept you. You deserve to be accepted. Did you notice any buts? Did you notice when I do that thing? Yeah. When I reach that goal, when I lose that weight. No, none of that was said. I said, right now, in this moment, I look at myself and say, I love you now. I accept you now. And have a look at the resistance. Start seeing what is. Oh, excuse me. I hope that was not too loud. Have a look at the resistance points in those. These are really interesting because it's almost someone trying to whisper in your ear and say, you have to perform to receive love and acceptance.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Which is very difficult, isn't it? If you think of your ideal perfect moment with your child, your son, your daughter, imagine having a son or daughter, and looking at them and saying, oh, no. No, you have to do these things for me to love you. Whoa. How hard is that? Does that feel acceptable to any of you? It sounds like someone's done that to you. It sounds like you may be doing that to yourself still. Taking note and noticing these things are really going to help each of you realize how you treat yourselves and what you continue supporting in your life or allowing or letting drain energy. Start trying to offer this compassion instead of that punishment, this kindness. Have you tried to do this and found this easy at all, Taylor?
No, it's not easy.
No.
Probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do.
And
I think that's where it comes into this whole 1% rule. So if you improve by 1% daily rather than chasing perfection, then you're on the ball. Which I think is what Nathan's trying to say. If you do that one small thing a day, you'll eventually start to change your whole perception of what you think about yourself and others. Hence why I'm saying some crazy stuff like guilt doesn't exist, it's not real. It probably has a purpose. Guilt has a purpose, but not in the purpose of this conversation. So that's why I'm saying things like it's not real. Once you start to evaluate the layers of everything and why we tend to do things. So if you can improve by 1% a day, whether that be drink more water, go out into the sun, stretch, do a short walk, do a gratitude jot down of anything that you are grateful for that happened within that day, then you're already taking those small steps to changing your whole entire future and thought processes.
And this is where this term that I started to bring in a bit early before, the energy budgeting. This is amazing. To look at it as some acceptance to say, perhaps I'm a bit low to start with. So you're looking for a sustainable habit. We hear this word sustainable. It is simply something that you can keep doing ongoing.
Which is something that I do in these podcasts. I'll have people say, oh, you seemed lighter in this episode, or you seemed this in this episode. I'm coming to you real. So is Nathan. But my perception of real might be a little bit more easier to decipher, because you can tell. But that, to me, is energy budgeting. I'm giving you what I have for whatever time we do an episode recording, but I'm still showing up. So
yeah,
I think that that's a good example of what Nathan's trying to say.
To allow yourself to arrive and turn up with what you have. To find something that you can sustain over a period of time. Not a day or a week even. But imagine getting to a point where you can test things and realize you could consistently keep them going. It was doable every day for a few months, even on a bad day. To having this calm, centered, grounded sort of energy, not this panic, I must do and I must reach and I must achieve. That panic is a bit of a sign that you're kind of shaming or guilt tripping yourself and using this old system to try and push yourself, and it kind of infects your motivation. And for a short time, it might have actually worked to get you going, but it's panic. And it's very draining, and it's not sustainable, and it's unhealthy. Imagine if you could do something calmly and grounded and consistently every day. Having that compassion, leaving this space for you to rest and repair and be able to get up every day and increase your capacity ever so slightly. And yeah, it's going to take some time. Imagine not having a collapse, not burning yourself out. Finding more and more tools like habit stacking from Atomic Habits, the book Atomic Habits. I highly recommend this book. To be able to look at what your daily routine is already and realize, oh, I do actually have a little routine that I do without even realizing it. Start with that. Put that on your list and go, you know what? I do this every day. Can I add one little extra thing, another minute thing, and habit stack? Because I'm already doing those habits. Can I add one little thing in that moment? Do this little micro habit to something I already am doing, and build a new routine on top of that solid foundation. How very compassionate and caring and doable.
And for the love of God, celebrate them.
Celebrate them.
Celebrate
Yes.
them, because it's making a change.
And this is part of that shame spiral. That even when we accomplish certain things, we are still looking at them and saying, not good enough. We're not taking the time to say, you reached your goal. And this is why being really specific about goals is incredibly helpful. You need to know exactly what it is that once you reach it, you go, yes, I have reached that goal. Tick. And celebrate it. That's really important. It is consciously breaking that pattern of shame and burnout.
What is your thoughts on permission to rest?
So, interestingly, I think rest is one of the greatest weapons we can ever give ourselves in all of life. And I truly am talking rest. I'm not talking laying down, bed rotting, scrolling through mind numbingness, or not facing your problems. I mean doing the things that are necessary in your life, hard as they are, slowly building them, to the point where you can lay down when you rest and sleep like a baby. And there may be people thinking, oh my goodness, do you know how hard it is to sleep? That's a good sign. That's great. There is something preventing your sleep. We need to find it. What a great mission for you to sit down in one of those habit stacking moments and take a minute to truly dig down and find out exactly what it is in your pattern that is preventing your rest. Because no one needs to earn rest. You don't look at a baby that falls asleep and say, hey, you should be out there doing. The peace you feel in watching a baby sleep peacefully is incredible. And we all yearn for that again. And I believe it to be possible to set up your life in such a way where you can reach that truly resting, healing, calm nervous system pace, where you don't feel like you have to run flat out non-stop until you're dead. Your nervous system will tell you what pace you need to go at. It's going to give you feedback, and that's great. All feedback is good feedback, even if it's a bad moment from you. Don't shame it. Don't think about that too in depth. I should be, I must be, I'm expected to. Put it aside for a minute and say, what is this feedback telling me? I am falling in a heap and bawling today. What is that telling me? I can't get out of bed today. What is that telling me? It's fantastically empowering to stop shame in its tracks immediately and switch it to what it's for. It's feedback to say, hey, I need to adjust something. Just like everything in life is. You're not making money in your business, it's feedback. You're struggling to sleep, it's feedback. You're feeling sick, it's feedback. You have a disease, it's feedback. It's okay, it's almost whispering to you, hey, here's something you could investigate and try differently and see if we can get the result we're hoping for, rather than what you currently are clearly not okay with living like. Isn't it interesting that you can change things just in your mind and really improve your life? Perhaps right now as you're listening to this, you are adjusting things in your mind or seeing things more clearly. You really... Let's celebrate that now. This is a great thing. If you're hearing this podcast and you are having thoughts about how you can not carry other people's guilt, expectations, not continue shaming yourself, adjust your patterns, change something in your life to sleep better, add micro habits, drink a bit of water, go in the sunshine. All of these, I'm moving towards things that are healthier for me to the best of my knowledge. That's amazing. And listening to this podcast is doing that too. You're trying to learn a different perspective to challenge where you are at the moment. Perhaps you're searching. Perhaps you're in pain. Physical, emotional. This is a place you can come and be really messy and be accepted and be not full of guilt, but seen as a valuable, necessary person that is truly deserving of love. And just start with knowing this is why we do the podcast. We are trying here in our lives to love ourselves, and we want others to experience that too. This feels like a very, very healthy, noble mission. How do you feel about it, Taylor?
Yeah, I feel good about it, even though I struggle to be here sometimes. But we always said if we could help one person, then we've achieved what we wanted to achieve. So the more we keep going, the more people it'll reach, the more people hopefully it'll help. So as Nathan said, listening to this podcast is even a step towards loving yourself.
Yeah.
Being better, doing better, trying harder to accept who you are and accept that all your dreams can come true.
And it's difficult because the systems now are set up against you. And things are held up, especially on social media, to almost force a bit of guilt, to feel like you're not good enough unless you're keeping up with everybody else that's doing something unhealthy. Which is why the rest part is so important. This deliberately, consciously making the choice to say, no, I'm going to disengage and restore my capacity. I'm not failing. It's not weak. I will take care of inputting energy into myself to expand my capacity. It's necessary and very intelligent.
I think Nathan has a tapping practice for you all.
Yes. So, to ensure that we don't get to a point where we're trying to restore ourselves by numbing ourselves, to normalize this idea of rest as a skill we can build and not a reward, to have that courage to, as Brené Brown talks about, say, yeah, we can play and rest in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol, is very powerful. We don't need to buy into it. Use this tool. Hone this weapon. Build this skill. And this is what this tapping practice is for today. Is to help your nervous system release this urgency. To find a stable or sustainable rhythm. One that you can continue doing. So as always, if you need to look at the points, have a look on YouTube or Instagram under my channels, The Unarmored Man. The Unarmored Man. And there's some videos there showing you the points to tap on that you can follow through as you tap on these points. And I'll get Taylor to do this with me now. And we'll do this setup phrase as we start tapping on that karate chop point, that first one on the side of the hand. And repeat after me, and Taylor will do that bit with you guys. Say, even though.
Even though.
I feel pressure to keep up and fear falling behind.
I feel pressure to keep up, fearful and behind.
I deeply and completely. Love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
Even though. I feel pressure to keep up and I'm afraid of falling behind.
I feel pressure to keep up and I'm afraid of falling behind.
I deeply and completely. Love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
Even though. I feel pressure to keep up and I'm afraid of falling behind.
I feel pressure to keep up and I'm afraid of falling behind.
I deeply and completely. Love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
On top of the head. I know that it's exhausting.
I know that it is exhausting.
On the eyebrow. And I'm full of self-criticism. On the side of the eye. I feel guilty. Under the eye. When I can't keep up and I fall behind. Under the nose. I accept that I don't need to rush. On the chin. I take my time and breathe. On the collarbone. I let my capacity grow. Under the arm. I give myself permission to rest. The two wrists together. I'm afraid of falling behind. On top of the head. I feel pressure to keep up. On the eyebrow. It's exhausting trying to keep up.
The
side of the eye. I criticize myself a lot. Under the eye. I don't need to have this much urgency. Under the nose. I can rest and breathe. On the chin. I'm going to slowly expand my capacity. On the collarbone, I give myself permission to rest. Under the arm, I refill myself as I need. The two wrists together, I'm finding a sustainable rhythm. Take a deep breath. Repeat this if you need to. Go straight rewind back and go straight over this again. Let it sink into your nervous system till you can feel like it's safe to move at your own pace. You're welcome to contact us on any of our socials and reach out, ask questions. You're welcome to have a look at my socials on the Unarmored Man and reach out to me if you're in need of a custom script or a session with me. In the meantime, take the time you need to rest. Slowly build your capacity. Let the motivation come. We love that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Taylor. It's been a fascinating episode.
Thank you.
And until next time, remember, the beauty of life is that you can always erase, redraw, and keep creating. Goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Right key sliding, playful and quirky.
Brass punches,
Sharp and perky.
baseline dances,
Feeling sassy.